My question is probably asking each of you to deal with the hardest thing that you're going to have to do, which is close schools. I've never been convinced that the Ottawa Board has done a very good job of this, and I know, the things that go into it. You get a recommendation from the board, you ask the board to do a study, and it recommends closing some schools. But when that recommendation comes forward, I guess I see, the pressure is such that that decision is let go and isn't done. But I'd like to ask each of you how you will approach, recommendation from the administration to close a school as part of a bigger plan, how you deal with all the pressures that you face, including your own approach and your own thought about that.
10 years ago, the funding formula required school boards to close schools. Since that time, the government has placed in place revenues that allow small schools, for example, to stay open in rural schools. There are top-up grants. There are all kinds of reasons why school boards no longer are driven to close schools the way they used to be. Close a school does affect the community. It's a gathering place. It's a place that people, generally speaking, have learned to love. That their kids have gone to school. Perhaps they've gone to school themselves. So it's a very difficult decision to make. I wouldn't be in favor of closing schools where the education that's being provided there is not satisfactory. And by that I mean that the enrollment has shrunk to such a point where you're going to have triple grade classes, where the options are really restricted, where there's almost no extracurricular program, for example, or where the building itself is no longer a safe place for education to take place, or it's so expensive to overhaul that it really isn't worthwhile. And in that case, it's also possible to tear the school down and build a new one. So I would take each case as it comes, on a case-by-case basis. I don't prejudge. I don't have a particular philosophical bent one way or the other. And I have to take into account the impact on the community as the community expresses it. And sometimes, as Rob has said, the community knows better than the recommendations that are coming forward. Sometimes they have information or can point out to things that haven't been considered. And it would be my job as a trustee to make sure that that is brought forward into the argument. Thank you.